what are some common terminologies that we'll be using? So the first is the production process. So production process means it's a process or a series of processes that are necessary to make a product. So it is the process of producing a product. So that is a production process. So for example, here, give me a second. Let me admit. Okay. For example, here in this screenshot here, you can see this is a production process for manufacturing steel pipes. Okay, so it goes through certain processes. So you have smelting, then you have casting, then you have sizing and straightening, then again some heat treatment, then you have some cooling, then you are putting it through some tests, inspection, and finally delivering the end product that can be sold in the marketplace. So the entire series is called a production process, right? Then the next term that we are going to often hear is a control system. So what is a control system? So we've seen what a production process is. Control system is what exerts control on the production process. Okay, is my statement clear? So control systems are used to exert control on the production process, right? So these include, a system of sensors, devices. You have, control modules, logic devices. So put together, they form a control system. So I've taken a simple example to illustrate what that is. So here, if you can see, there is an overhead tank. So there is a tap that is filling in water. So as the water keeps filling up, so there is a sensor that is a measuring device that is primarily capturing what is the level. Okay, so once it has the value of the actual level, it sends that to a controller, which actually has a reference level, that is to say, what is the level of the tank. So once the actual level matches the reference level, so the controller takes a decision to push an action to the pump to switch that off, thereby controlling the flow. So so you have a measuring part of it, the sensing piece, then you have the controlling and the decision making piece, and you have the actuating piece. So that is the one on which the action is happening. So this is a simple example of a liquid level control system. All right. Then operational technology. I think this is a buzzword that you'll keep hearing all through the day. So operational technology, or OT as we call. So it's a communication system, that is used to basically manage all your industrial operational assets, right? So it is basically used to manage, monitor, and also control all these industrial operations that happen on the shop floor, right? Then asset is something you'll be hearing. So an OT asset in the context of OT, operational technology, is a simple digital device that is part of your OT infrastructure. All right. Then equipment or operating equipment. So this is where the control is. So these are devices on which the control or which are being controlled by the OT network. So in the previous example, we have seen that there is a pump that was being controlled by the controller. So the pump is an operating equipment. So that is being controlled by the controller. Sorry. So then we have a sensor. Sensor is basically a measuring device. So as the name indicates, it senses and it measures, right? So then we have a supervisory system. So I've taken an example of SCADA. SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. Okay, so this is basically, again, an industrial control system. So that is designed to monitor all your factory and the plant shop floors, right? Really, all the operations across the shop floor. Then we have PLC. PLC stands for the Programmable Logic Control. So this is an industrial computer, so to say. That is, again, it acts as a control system. So it is used to control certain manufacturing processes. So for example, the assembly lines that you have, or the production lines that you have, or certain robotic devices that you have. Okay, then the control modules. So these are also the IO modules, the remote IO modules that you have. So these are basically, they take the input from the sensing device. They pass it on to the controller. The controller takes an action and pushes it back to the output, basically, so that the necessary action can be taken. So this is a simple IO module. So these are, again, so control modules are typically seated in the slots of the programmable logic control, or the PLC. Okay, so in this example, so this is a shop floor that we have. So there is a PLC which is actually controlling this particular production line. Then we have a HMI. HMI stands for human machine interface. So this is like a display where, as an operator, you interact with it while performing certain operations. So then we have robotic arms which are used as a part of your production line.